do you ever watch a terrible movie and think, hey, this is kind of interesting to watch? Well, we have a full film historian who wrote the book, The Greatest Bad Movies of All Time. His name is Phil Hall. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me here.
So how many movies did you have to watch in order to write this book?
Well, the book consists of 100 of the greatest bad films of all time, but obviously I had to watch hundreds and maybe thousands of bad films, and then we'll put the list down to the 100 best of the worst, or worst of the best, however you want to look at it.
Well, that is some dedication. What draws you to these horrible movies?
Well, these are the films that inspire wonder. You sit there watching them wondering, how did they make these films? How in the world did hundreds of people come together, spend millions of dollars, and create something so completely misguided? And even more strange, how did these films even get into release? You would think a film is so bad they would hide it away someplace, but all of these films have been in some sort of release, either theatrical or DVD or on YouTube.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those instances where you just can't look away. It is so bad. All right, so you got to give us some of the top contenders. Just give us a little taste of some of those bad movies.
Well, the book runs the spectrum from the silent era to contemporary films. Starting with a Charlie Chaplin film going back to 1918, but actually Chaplin didn't make the film. It was a film called Triple Trouble. He had left the S&A studios, and his producers were upset that their biggest star was gone, so they took outtakes from the film and chopped them together with new footage, and it's one of the most unfunniest comedies ever made. And there was a reason why Chaplin cut this footage out in the first place, because it was just so bad. And when S&A put the film into release, Chaplin took out newspaper ads declaring it a fraud. The film was a huge flop, and S&A went out of business within 2 years of this incredible masquerade.
Oof. Well, it's interesting that he took out an ad. Now, we also have Reefer Madness.
Reefer Madness, yes. This was an anti-drug film which was made in the 1930s. At the time, there was a great deal of concern about marijuana usage among young people, but in the late 1960s, the film was rediscovered, and people were laughing out loud at it because whoever made this film had no idea what marijuana actually does to you. They figured you take a puff of the joint and you become a giggling maniac, such as this character on the screen. And that is certainly not what marijuana usage is all about. And this was actually the first time that audiences came to see a film, and specifically because it was a bad film, they were laughing at it. It was so bad it's good. So this is sort of considered the granddaddy of the anti-classics.
Interesting. All right, Beat the Devil. I've never heard of this one.
Well, good thing for you, you didn't. It was made in 1954. It was directed by John Huston, written by Truman Capote. Humphrey Bogart's in the film with Jennifer Jones, Gina Lollobrigida, Peter Lorre, and Robert Morley, and it's atrocious. You think with all this talent put together, this would be a wonderful film, but it's not. They were basically making the film up as they were going along. Bogart was particularly unhappy with the film because he was financing it, and you have this bizarre shaggy dog tale which just pinballs from story to story, and it never really concludes in any satisfactory way. For years it was considered to be a big flop, and then it became a cult hit, but quite frankly, it's a dreadful film. There's nothing really to recommend to it.
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh, Plan 9 from Outer Space. Many people say this is the very worst film ever made. I don't think so. It's a very entertaining film. This is Ed Wood's anti-classic with Bela Lugosi's double. He actually died 3 years before production began, so they used some old footage of him. That's Vampire on screen with Tor Johnson. They got Ed Wood's wife's chiropractor filled in for Lugosi in the film, even though the man was a foot taller than Lugosi and had lighter hair. It was made on cardboard sets.
Wow.
The flying saucers had strings attached to them. But people love this film. They watch it over and over. They can recite dialogue from it. It's again, it's a so bad it's good film.
The Turkish Wizard of Oz, is this what it sounds like?
It is. The folks over in Turkey decided to make their own version of The Wizard of Oz on probably a $5 budget. They made some significant changes to the characterization. Dorothy is rather glamorous. We have an effeminate scarecrow. We have a morose tin man. The Cowardly Lion is, well, his costuming has to be seen to be believed. Toto winds up, at one point jumps up Dorothy's skirt. There are 7 dwarfs in the show as well. I don't know how they got, I think they were supposed to have been in the Turkish Snow White and they wandered onto the set by mistake. I've screened this film for audiences for a number of years, and people just laugh out loud. They can't believe just how crazy this film is.
Well, it's such an iconic movie here in the States, and I didn't even see the Yellow Brick Road.
Well, there's no Yellow Brick Road in this, but then in fairness, there's no Yellow Brick Road in L. Frank Baum's novel either. But they have dancing cavemen in this one. They have
Dancing cavemen.
they're dancing cavemen, and the seven dwarfs take out a cannon and blow up the cavemen too. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds interesting. So, if people are interested in your book, how do they get it?
Well, you can get it online at Amazon or any of the online retailer sites, or through the publisher Bear Manor Media.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Phil Hall. Interesting. You've inspired us to maybe watch some bad movies.
Oh, there's no shortage of bad movies to choose from.
No, we didn't even talk about Giggly, or Jiggly, or however you say it.
Geely, yeah.
Geely.
We're the only ones talking about it too.
There
so.
you go. All right. For some more information on the bad movies, you can head to WTNH.com, click on the On Air tab, and pull down to Good Morning Connecticut.